Now here we are going to discuss about the graphical representation of a Argand diagram. So the complex numbers are represented in a plane. We will call that plane as a Cartesian plane or Gaussian plane or Argand plane or sometimes Argand diagram also. Now here we will take a y-axis as the imaginary axis and we'll take the real axis as the x-axis, or we'll consider x-axis as a real axis. Now we'll consider a point in between x-axis and y-axis, that is p of x comma y. Now a complex number will take z is equal to x plus iy. In the complex number, the real part z is treated as x coordinate, and the imaginary part y we should consider it as y coordinate. And we know that both x comma y are belonging to the real numbers. And as usual, the value of I, that is imaginary number iota, is equals to square root of minus 1. Now, if we take that z is equal to x plus iy, which is going to be expressed as a point in the plane whose coordinate axes are in the form of an ordered pair, whose coordinate axis will be in the form of an ordered pair, and that ordered pair is nothing but x comma y. And we'll take that x is the real axis. We'll call that x as the real axis, and the y can be called as the imaginary axis. Now, if we represent such a point, such a complex number, in the form of a point in the plane, then we call the diagram as the Argand diagram. I repeat it. When we take the point p of x comma y, where x is the point value which is obtained from the real part, and y is the coordinate which is obtained from the y coordinate. If you are going to take it as x as a real axis and y as imaginary axis, and if you are going to represent it as a complex number in the form of a point in a diagram, we will call that one as a Argand diagram. And we'll take z is equal to x plus iy with a complex number, and we'll draw the coordinate axis for x and y, and we'll get a point p of x comma y in the plane, right? Now, so remember that always the x-axis will be considered as the real axis, and the y-axis will be always considered as the imaginary axis. So this real axis and imaginary axis and representation of the complex number as a point in the plane, we will call that one as the Argand diagram, or sometimes we can call it as a Gaussian plane, or we can call it as a complex plane also.